What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Clickbait. Like always, we got a bunch of Bachelor Nation news. Now, you know there's a lot going on with the Katie's 12 Days of Messy, Tasha and Zach breakup. Becca introduces Thomas to her family, excited for her, and Michelle goes to hometowns with her final four. If you saw the episode this week, it was a great episode. I was into it. Clickbait of the week, 7 qualities of a healthy friendship that remain constant. Natasha's going to give us her insight on that. And then we have a special guest, Casey. He's from Michelle's season. The man goes off. I heard he goes off at the Men Tell All, but we'll see.
Rings the alarm.
We're going to ask him a few questions there. And yeah, how you guys doing? What's up?
Good. How are you? How was the holiday?
Holidays
it's been a long time since we were here.
Yeah, because we recorded Monday of last week. But yeah, the holidays were great. I'm going to... Is anybody going to be in LA next week?
Yeah, boo. I told you I'm going to be there.
You're going to be there? Okay, I'll be there too.
I'll be there on Monday. But listen, did Serena pass flying colors with the fam for the holiday?
Oh, my family loves her.
I love it.
It's hard not to. I mean, she's...
Fact.
She's just genuinely like a real nice person. Like a real person and nice.
It's true.
Whatever.
I was excited to see her on the episode this week.
Oh, yeah.
Her
she's
cute little face.
Oh, my gosh. Michelle's excitement. She was probably like, ugh, who is this at the door? Like, who is coming to bother me? Oh, my God. And then she like, it was so good. It was cute. So cute.
Because they're all they're actually good friends. You know, a lot of times you see people and they put it on for the show, but they are all really good friends.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Tia? Did Bay come through to the fam?
He did. It was so good. I think my family likes him more than they like me, so that's good. My mom literally apologized for my attitude.
Oh,
she's
my
like,
gosh.
we're so sorry about her personality. And I'm like, bitch, where do you think I got it from? You. And my dad's like, Taylor, if I can do it, you can do it. You can do this. You can make it through with her.
Where is this relationship now?
It's really good. It's really good. We're like in little.
You're in love.
Happy in love phase. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
How many days a week are you guys spending nights together?
He's here all the time. He might as well live here. He's having packages and stuff sitting here.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that you're in a serious relationship.
Yeah. And I tried to like push it away for a while, and finally I was just like, fuck it, we're just gonna let it in, and it's been great.
That's what she said. That's good.
That's amazing.
Okay.
I have my excitement for my holiday was not bringing a man, but seeing my niece. She's 1 month old, and it was her first Thanksgiving, so that was a lot of fun. 1 month.
Oh, okay.
My brother
sweet.
that lives in Michigan just had a baby, so
she's like itty bitty.
Oh, she is like, I just want to sleep and cuddle. She's so cute.
Is she smaller than your dog?
Actually, no, she weighs more than Nyla. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane?
Nyla's teeny.
Yeah, Nyla's 7 pounds. The baby is 8 pounds. And
I love Nyla.
Yeah, she's so good. But my grandparents have her right now. So, because Mama got to work.
Okay.
Did y'all notice that Kevin and Astrid showed their baby after we talked about how they weren't showing their baby? And he's
like
freaking cute, man.
After we said it.
It's very cute. And it's like when they're so little, it's just like they just want to snuggle and cuddle.
Well, yeah. And they were like, we want our family and friends to see this baby and know his name and all that before everyone else. So, but
which I totally get that. But
for sure.
Because we here for the baby pictures.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Rumor has it there might be another baby going around. Okay, so first
not
first Bachelor Nation breakdown is Becca Kufrin introduces Thomas Jacobs to her family. So over the holidays, it seemed like Thomas. It doesn't seem like what I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, so Thomas and Becca spent the holidays together by Becca's house in Minnesota. She seems very happy. They seem very happy. We were all there when they met in Paradise. They broke up in Paradise. People were like, "Is it gonna ever work? We don't know." They get together. Yeah, they get together after the show, and they seem to be
electric.
Yeah.
They seem to be like gliding on air.
It's just the same as it was in Paradise. Like the making out and the snuggling and all that stuff still the same. That dude's like a big golden retriever, just like frolicking through the Minnesota leaves with her.
But let's get a little deeper in this, right? So I think when you do meet a family, when you do meet the person that you're dating's family, it's very important that they all get along, right? Because if the family hates the person you're dating, or the person or that person hates the family, it's always an issue.
Yeah,
it's always a big issue.
Challenge.
So
is it so? Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because I feel like with men specifically, and I am generalizing. I'm telling our listeners, I'm generalizing right now. I feel like sometimes, if it's like a mama's boy, there's like this actual show where it's like, have you ever watched that show? It's like actually about like mama's boys. I think it's called like Mama's Boy or something like that. I don't know. There's a show out there where if you haven't, if the mom and the daughter-in-law or girl that the son is dating don't like each other, like he like has to pick.
I feel like that's common too, especially with mama's boys, because they don't want to give up their son to anybody.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and sometimes the mamas don't win. Sometimes they don't win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that makes it hard.
Yeah, and then the holidays and Thanksgiving isn't as fun because there's a lot of tension.
My family's pretty chill. They're like, if they make you happy, it makes us happy.
Have you met your boo's family yet?
Me?
Oh yeah.
Yes. No. I know you have, Joe, but Tia, have you? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so good.
Great.
So that's the thing. So what's interesting to me is when you have this dynamic, I feel like sometimes the guy picks the girl and then they like, goes off and like they never talk, it's a very weird thing, and you only see each other on holidays, and it's like, I want to see my grandkids. It's all crazy. But when it's the women, because I think maybe more traditionally the woman kind of folds into the man's life, it's never really that much of a problem. It's like, oh, y'all don't like him? That's okay. We gonna be at his house anyway.
Right.
Like, it's never as big of an issue, right?
Yeah.
So her going, they did this whole thing, and I don't know if it's the Bachelorette, and I don't know if it's, Becca, watching Becca's story, and Thomas, I want to go to Minnesota now.
Oh, me too.
I'm like dying to go to Minnesota.
I've been there
it looked awesome.
You've been a bunch of times?
Yeah, Minnesota, yeah.
Doing what?
I don't know. For me, like,
I know. I'm like, I didn't even know there was anything there.
Yeah.
Until I knew people from.
It's a Midwest city. I'm from Chicago's Midwest.
I know, me too, but I've never been.
Yeah, I actually did a live show there.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But yeah,
so
they're cute. We love them. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I love them, and I'm glad that they're doing really well, and it makes me so happy every time they post, and they're all so cute. And he seems to fit in well with her family. I mean, he's in love with her, so of course he's gonna like make a good impression.
Yeah, and I would say before we get into the next breakdown, which is about breakups, I'm gonna put my money on. I'm gonna put my money on that. Becca and Thomas go all the way.
Wow.
I think they're going to get married.
I hope so.
Have Becca and Thomas kids. And
I will say, if Becca goes all in with who she's dating, like she's not one to do it half-assed. Like she's going to be fully into a relationship. Like me.
You at the beginning. At the beginning of a relationship, Tia purposely goes half-assed to ruin.
Well, yeah, to protect myself. But Becca, I've always looked up to her for that. I'm like, damn, this girl really goes for it. How she let her walls down like that? But she really does. But I can see them.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's like he's past that. I know that I'm pretty sure she's met his family before too, right? Because they're in San Diego.
Yeah.
And she goes there a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's met their I mean, the families is a big thing, and I know family's so important to her. I hope so. I mean, I think they're so cute, and oh, honey, these babies gonna be so cute. Sorry.
Okay, now let's get into the good stuff. Okay, not the good stuff, I shouldn't say. Let's get into the negatives, okay?
We love you, Becca and Thomas.
Okay, so you got our former co-host, Tasha and Zach. We love them both. Natasha and I went out to dinner with them. Unfortunately, it seems to be over. They broke up.
I hate it.
It sucks.
Hate to see
but
it.
here's the thing.
But do you think they'll get back together?
I'm going to say this real quick. People that, when they break up, right, everyone's like, yeah, it's terrible, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, I usually think it's a good thing when people break up because then they just weren't happy. So now they can figure out how to be happy, right?
Right.
Like sometimes, you know, obviously we want, like, as viewers and friends of them, we want to see it work out. But if they're not happy, they break up and they move on and they find out how to become happy again.
Yeah, I feel like people are so devastated over it. They're like, man, I'm giving up hope. It's like, no, just like you said, they could be happier apart. Yeah. Did they live in the same city? Did they both live in New York?
Well, she did move to New York. I mean, she kept her apartment, as far as I know, in Orange County as well. But she was living here, you know, with Zach when she was in town. Yeah, they were together in the same place. So the thing is I think that's such an important statement to say, Joe. We talk about toxic relationships, toxic friendships, toxic. Everybody talks about that now. And I think that the well-being is most important for your friends and your family and everybody. And so, like, I want Tayshia to be happy and I want Zach to be happy too. You know, of course, I'm a little biased because, you know, Tayshia, that's our girl, that's our clickbait girl. But I want her to be happy. And if the relationship wasn't working, you know, I haven't talked to her about the specifics or anything like that. But I think that the thing that made me sad mostly was that, of course, it's a public breakup. And having this public breakup, you know, people come at you, people say this, people say that, but what about this? You know, everybody has an opinion. And that's the sad part. And I'm sure that's the mourning part. And it's like, I'm sure she's like, probably like, I don't want to go anywhere because I don't want to talk about this. I want to go through my emotions the way that I go through my emotions, right?
But tagged in every other article about it too.
Yes, but at the same time, it's a public relationship. So, you know, you also you kind of have to accept it because you get celebrated during your relationship. People love you and want to talk about it and ask you questions and talk about all the good things. So when you break up, you have to accept that fact. Like, that's just what it is.
Totally. But I'm sure it takes a toll. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're at home crying and you're like, I gotta go get some coffee, but I don't want to leave my house because I don't want somebody to photograph me looking all goddamn crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking
especially
about
as a lead too, as a lead on the show. You're like, damn, I really wanted this to be successful. And of course, it just gives into the stigma of, oh, these relationships never work.
Who is the last lead to be with the person that they chose for their season?
Matt James.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Matt James.
Matt, and then I think Ari.
Well, so here's the other thing. Yeah. Here's the other thing. Well, yeah. Does that count? I guess it does.
That one counts. That counts.
Okay. So here's the thing about...
They have like 17 kids and moved to Hawaii and vlog. I've actually, I swear to God, I'm guilty of it. I've actually watched some of Ari and Lauren's vlogs. I've actually
they're cute.
They're not bad. Yeah, they're not.
They're killing it.
They're not. They're good. They are. I'm kind of like, I was like, they bought a house in Hawaii. They just moved to Hawaii. It's
they bought a house there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing good. That YouTube vlog, money is good.
Check out vlog 72.
But do you think that, so you know how like Rachel and Matt broke up and then they got back together, you know, this is still very new. I wonder if Zach and Tayshia will get back together.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I mean, they could. I'm not saying that they won't, but it's different. Like Matt and Rachel broke up like right after their season.
Mm-hmm. And then they kind of got right back together, huh? Yeah,
it didn't seem like they really gave it a try in the real world. And then once I think they started, they realized, oh, they really love each other. And where this Zach and Tayshia were together for like over a year, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have... I guess like this, so the Katie Blake, now you got this guy, Jack Hersey, who's dating
John.
her now. John Hersey, yeah, what did I say?
Jack.
John Hersey. Sorry.
I got you, boo. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Anyways, she's dating yeah, I mean, there seems to be a lot of drama there because they were hanging out, and she was talking about how like they were really close friends, and now that they're dating. I know like the helicopter clip that she's showing on her 12 Days of Messy. Blake was in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
sitting
rough.
by her. Oh, yeah. My eyes twitching thinking about it. It is really fucking messy.
Yeah.
So that's what the messy was about. Was that the messy? Because, honey, that was messy. That was real messy.
Didn't Blake say he was on a podcast, right, where he said he felt like it was emotional cheating? Emotional cheating, yeah. Yeah.
I really want to know, Joe, because I already know, I kind of have an idea what Tia would do if she was in this situation. As a woman, you know what I mean? As a man, though, please open us up and try to put yourself in someone like Blake's shoes and John's shoes for a second. Can you break this down for us as Joe, as like a guy, like a guy point of view, being these two people?
As which one? Do this?
I mean, all guys are different. Me personally, like, I always get a little wary when, like, you know, people have like, oh, but like her and John being so close while Blake and her were dating. To me, I'd be like, why are you such good friends with? Why are you always hanging out with this guy? And they're posting, like they would post on Instagram and stuff.
And they lived in the same city.
Yeah, but I would automatically be like, this is, like this guy did try to date you. You dated him briefly on the show. Like,
oh shit, I forgot about that part.
You're always with him. Like, I don't know. I would be like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
Maybe he did. Maybe Blake did.
But did it not, in my opinion, clearly, like you said, Blake was in the helicopter as well. Like I think it raises red flags when it's like, I gotta hang out with my friends, but you can't come. Clearly, they kind of were together like all the time, right? Like all three of them, like when he was there. I will say, you know, I of course haven't talked to Katie about this, but when, you know, a lot of people was like, wait, why is Katie moving to San Diego versus moving to Canada or, you know, where her guy is? You know, there's this crew, this San Diego crew of people and her friends are there and blah, blah, blah. So that I think was a big like, wait, that's weird. Why aren't they together? Even if she moved to Texas, it would be like, why aren't they together and they're engaged? I think that was like a big thing for people. And so now with this happening, I was like, oh, wait, what? So I feel like the fact that they could all be together, I myself, and maybe I'm just naive because, yeah, I am. I wouldn't have thought anything of that. That's why I think I would be like so
hiding
mad
in
now.
Plain sight too. Katie could be like, "We all hang out together. Why would you expect anything? Because I'm showing him right in front of you. It's not like I'm hiding it. I'm making it
right." Because I have so many guy friends, but like it's very specific. Of like we've never hooked up.
You have clear boundaries.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Maybe they were legitimately just friends, and that's what they said. They really liked each other. They were just friends. And then maybe she came to the realization, like, instead of being with Blake, I actually rather be with my friend.
If this was a rom-com movie, we would have cheered for it. You know those movies where you're like cheating for the person, like cheering for the person to cheat to be with the other person?
Because John would have been the main character. You know, I'm in love with this girl.
The nice
and
guy,
she sent me
that
home
deserves the win. Yeah.
Oh, Tia, that's some fire you over there packing.
There's that movie with Kate Hudson and
Matthew McConaughey?
No, it's where she's getting married. Kate Hudson is getting married, but she cheated and like her best friend.
Something Borrowed?
Yes. Yes. I love
Joe, why
that
do you
movie.
know that? Joe, why do you know that? Joe, why do you know that?
Yes.
I'm shocked. I'm
Great
shocked.
movie. Great example of that.
I don't know. I swear to God, I'm not even sure if I've seen it. I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Actually,
he names off all
like
Kate Hudson's movies.
That is.
I don't think you got today's.
That is every rom-com. Every rom-com is. Yeah.
But normally the husband is a jerk face. And I feel like Blake is not that.
No,
I don't know.
I like Blake. I genuinely like Blake, and I feel bad for Blake. In this situation, out of everyone, I feel the most bad for Blake. Because,
now, what do you Go ahead.
The way everything happened. I mean, that's just like what I'd be like, what the fuck? And it's hard. Listen, I'm not accusing Katie of anything because I don't know the truth. But if I was in Blake's shoes, it would be very hard for me to not think that she wasn't fucking around.
Especially with the whole thing leading up to it.
Yeah. And now, I'm not saying she did it because I don't know. But
yeah.
If I was
it would
Blake,
be hard to believe it.
Yeah, it would.
Mm-hmm.
It just, it's a little convenient. It seemed a little convenient. I don't know.
Well, I just got to say, he, listening to him on Talking It Out and everything that he said, he better than me, honey. Because I would have been.
But then if you say that, then it's like.
I know. He took the high road and I really love that. And that was a very gracious thing to do. And God will bless him with his person. Clearly this wasn't the right situation. And, the hope, it's like you want to be happy for love. You want love to win, right? And they always say love wins. So the hope is that Katie and John can actually, have this long-lasting relationship because after all it is, I hope so. I hope they stay together. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never know. Whatever.
Okay. You never know. Whatever. Honey, the 12 days of messy did not disappoint. The last day, I said, oh, wow.
Damn.
Oh, wait, did you guys see his statement, by the way? He, made this statement.
John? He posted some shit on Reddit, too. I'm like, why are you feeding into these Reddit people that are, the meanest of the mean? Let's just not.
Yeah, I don't. Who talks to people on Reddit? That's the craziest thing.
I mean,
the Reddit thread about Bachelor and talking shit about Bachelor, go ahead. It's fine. It's not meant for us to read it. Let them, people, if they want to vent and talk shit about us, feel free. I mean, I get it.
People
go ahead. Mind your business.
Some people are literally addicted to reading it, and it's so crazy. And so when he addressed them, I was just like,
Also, I do want to say this because we're talking about 12 Days of Messy. We're talking about Taylor Swift and her little short film. And I want to film a short film with a thriller with Serena, like a 10-minute short film. And
a thriller?
I came up with this idea. I came up with this idea that we're driving, a van pulls up, pulls her out of the car, and then she doesn't know what's going on. She basically gets kidnapped, right? And she gets dropped off at the border of Buffalo, and she's like, what just happened?
Joe, what
Buffalo, New York?
She gets pushed into this alternate universe, right? And she's like, what's going on? Where's Joe? And everyone's like,
I feel like I'm in an alternate universe.
Everyone's like, where's Joe? Who? She's like, they're like, Joe who? Joe, you mean Joe the next Bachelor? And she watches, and on the Bachelor, she's got to think, what just happened to my life? And nobody knows about us. I thought it was actually pretty good.
Go for it, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
all right.
I feel like Dean and Kaylin should be the people in the van, masked.
No. Did you see their dog went to doggy heaven?
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P. Pappy.
Yeah. Super sad. Actually, shout out to Dean and Kaylin. I hate when people's dogs die.
But you know what? That dog had a good last few years.
They're a family friend. They're literally family.
That was sad.
So sad. But I feel like we should talk about this. If anyone's has a production company, you guys hear this beautiful short story that he's trying to make. He's trying to get a People's Choice Award. He's trying to get an Oscar. Look at this man. Man. He's unstoppable.
Okay. Now we got so number 3, Michelle we'll make this quick. Michelle goes to hometowns with her final 4. If you saw the episode this week, all the final 4, all the hometowns to me all just seemed lovely.
They were good.
Yeah, they were all good. Everybody got along. All the dates were romantic. She really seemed to have a connection with every guy. Every guy were really into her. The families all got along. So
who is your fave?
I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to go with Brandon.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Brandon.
His dad and Michelle. I loved their conversation.
We had Brandon on the podcast. Brandon,
love him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I'm Brandon. If she doesn't pick Brandon, I'm Brandon for next Bachelor.
Brandon's great.
Yeah, I can see that. I love him.
It's the genuine. He just oozes like, yeah, it's me. Hi, it's me. Mm-hmm. Like this is me. I feel like he couldn't like fake if he tried, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know?
He's just a genuine person.
And I loved that he was first because he had just met her parents, and I was obsessed with that.
And his brother waiting to go to the Navy to get to be with him. That's so special.
Oh my gosh, that was and his brother was so cute. I was
so cute.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they were really, really cute. I really enjoyed all of them as well. Joe's hometown, or his meeting the family, meeting his dad and just seeing how few words he says, it makes so much sense why Joe is the way that he is.
And all the women of the family too, like the sister-in-law was like, just wait, when they're nervous, they're not going to talk much, so we'll see how it goes. And it made it make a lot of sense. Even his mama was like, he didn't tell me a lot about his struggles, and the fact that Joe was able to open up to Michelle about that was huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think his brother said one word.
No, I mean they're quiet guys, and also like if my brother was on the show and I never went on the show and I did, and he had a hometown, I would probably be very quiet.
Well, and it's also like you're used to the cameras.
This man got a whole
point.
Podcast. I'm hanging up. No, you would not.
I'm saying, but
if you weren't used to being on camera, maybe.
Like I was. Why do you think I went home night one with Becca? I couldn't talk. I refused to talk. I was very. Also, you feel like I want to still be somewhat of a private person, and now I got these cameras in my face. You don't. It's a new world. I don't know.
But are you? But here's the thing: are you? Or were you, I should say, vocal with your family and your brother and everything before going on the show? Like, I mean, I've seen text messages from you and your dad. You guys are vocal guys.
Yeah. I would say, but we're not. I never talked about like being in love with a girl or having a serious girlfriend or anything like that. So like Nate's situation. I was
nervous for that. I would say
very similar to Nate. At least I was. The only thing is like my family, like I tell my dad I love him. He tells me he loves me. My ma, same thing. So we are affectionate like that, but not very, not really when it comes to relationship-y stuff.
Well, I definitely think that he, when it comes to Joe, what I'm saying is I'm not trying to say that like I don't think it was the cameras. I just think that it seems like they're very just meant a few words, and the women kind of, they confide in the women that they're with, and they are the ones who are just the more vocal people. Like the sister-in-law, she was like, look here, girl, right? Like I'm going to tell you. So, and I think the dad and so I couldn't imagine the cameras going off and then they're just like, oh yeah, man, blah, 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 blah. Right. Like that just didn't seem like the case. Whereas with Nate's family, I think that that's a very common thing for, I think that's a very common thing for like, dare I say it, like young, handsome men who kind of just date around, if that makes sense. Because it's like, I'm not going to marry this person, so why bring them home? If that makes sense, right? Yeah. Like that would be your reasoning, Joe.
That was my logic when I was younger too.
It's like I'm gonna have another you in a minute.
With Nate? Yeah,
I think so. It was like no one was ever like, I'm clearly, that's why when even his stepdad said like he's not ready for this, and I think it's because like if I had met,
he'd never seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
I was nervous for his. I was like, are they just going to be completely shut off to this whole situation? Like he says, he doesn't talk about girls, but then they were so great.
Yeah.
And I love that the stepdad also came, even though they were divorced, just to support him. That was really cool.
Yes. And that support was still there. That was really great. And he said when they were sitting down in the park, he was like, you know how I feel about you. or something like that. And it was like, oh, but it would be nice for you to tell me. Yeah. So it just, the hometowns really opened up things. And Rodney went home. Y'all, that was hard. I cried when they was talking at the end. I said,
his mama was worried too. You could tell.
Yeah, she was.
Well, and she even said, of course, all families are going to be worried. Like, hey, you have 3 other people here. But his mom, the way she said, Rodney only has feelings for one person. Michelle has feelings for 4. And I was like, damn. I know we've said that a million different ways over the years on the show, but that kind of hit.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Well, okay. I mean, there it is. Also, it's the first time in Bachelor history the top 4 men were all of color. Very cool.
Hell yeah.
So we're in, and then a high note, clickbait of the week. Let's hear it.
Clickbait of the week. Okay, we are talking about friendships, we're talking about relationships. 7 qualities of a healthy friendship that remain constant. I am going to tell you guys, now we talk about this a lot on the podcast, and I'm just going to run through the 7, and then you guys will tell me which ones reach out to you, and we'll go into it. Reciprocity is 1. 2.
I have to look that up in the dictionary. Go ahead.
Okay, reciprocating, like basically you scratch my hand, or you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Like when you reciprocate things, right?
Yeah.
That's what that means. Boundaries is another one. That's number 3.
2 is support.
Okay, you got it. Support. Okay, support, boundaries.
4 is affection.
Yes.
5 is ease. Ease of the friendship. 6, vulnerability. 7, predictability.
Okay. So the one that always sticks out to me, and we talk about this a lot on the podcast too, boundaries. Hello, my name is Boundary.
It's different in a friendship too.
But it's so important though. And
you see what happens when you don't have boundaries.
What
it's
happens?
Something I didn't realize you needed in friendships until therapy. Yeah. True.
That's not what we're talking about.
Not saying the boundaries were crossed, but
Yeah. I think that some people are givers, some people naturally, right? Some people are natural givers, some people are natural takers. Some people naturally think of themselves as like, I'm the star of the show and everybody's my supporting cast. And some people are like, I'm the supporting cast and I want to support you. But I think in every relationship, there has to be like, they talk about ebb and flow, the ease of things. I think that's number 6. And when you establish boundaries, some days I can be your support. Some days I need you to support me. And I think that verbalizing that is so important. And I think when friendships can go both ways, like, hey, I need you today. Oh, no, I need you today. And I'll realize that I'm like just very intuitive just as a person. So I'll like really be thinking about someone and I'll just text them like, hey, just thinking about you. Hope you okay? And they're like, oh my God, thank God that you did that.
That's a good quality you have.
I encourage all of our listeners, everyone, if you are thinking about someone intently, just text them because you just never know. We're so busy. You can't talk to everybody every day.
Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out there.
What?
If one of my friends texts me,
I'm just thinking about you.
Just thinking about you. I'd say, I'd pick up the phone and call him and say, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean?
Maybe that's a woman thing.
Yeah. I would be so, at least my friends and the way we are together. If
but
one of my
maybe
friends
they wouldn't say that. Maybe they'd just be like, hey, Joe, what's up? Let's go get a drink.
That's what we do.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Kenny texted me yesterday and we're going to go out and have a drink today because he's like, would you want to catch up and have a beer? I said, yeah, let's do it.
See, that's his. I'm thinking about you.
But if Kenny would have texted me and said, "Hey, Joe, just thinking about you," I would be weirded out.
Okay, maybe not those words, guys. Sorry, but that's what I say. That's what I say. But I had a crazy dream. I had a really bad dream. It was a bad nightmare about a friend. And I called him the next day. I said, you okay? What's going on? He was like, man, it's been a really bad week. And I was like, oh, like I felt that, the dream it was really crazy. But when these things happen, I think you have to like let your people know that you're there for them. And so boundaries was my big one that reaches out to me. What about you, Tia?
I think it was the last one. What's the last one?
Not ease. It was the one after
predictability.
That. Yes.
What I got from that is when I moved away from Arkansas, I was so nervous that I was just going to lose contact with my friends there. And it just kind of happens when you're not in the same city anymore. But I have 2 great friends that the minute we get back together, it's just like nothing ever changed or no time ever passed. And that's always good to have, is friendships like that just things don't change even when you're far away, different seasons of life.
Mm-hmm.
Love that kind of friendship.
I have a lot of those.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those. Like,
and we may not talk every day, but when we get back together, it's just the same.
Yes.
Yeah. Like my friend Alan, who lives in LA, is on Dancing with the Stars. I won't talk to him for like a month, and then we talk, and it's just like we talked every day. It's very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a term in here that I had to look up. It was called fringe friends. Oh. And they talk about, you have your best friends who are like, your besties, probably who you grew up with, who you just click all day, every day. Then you have your essential friends, and then you have your fringe friends who, like, they're kind of like friends of friends, and you probably see them in more of a group setting. I feel that way about a lot of the like Bachelor people. It's like, I might not talk to you. Like, I have some essential friends in the Bachelor world, but then when everybody gets together, you kind of have this like mold, and it's really great when you see them. And I think that putting those boundaries out there with people who are your core friends, who you've known forever, who will be there and ride for you, and then those people who you're kind of cultivating those relationships, and then having those friendships, that's kind of hard to say, is very important when you are trying to delegate like what you're doing. Because also, as people say, I want to marry my best friend. Yeah, but sometimes in relationships as well, this can be a problem. And it's been a problem for me in other relationships where, you want your person to basically be your best friend. And it's like, no, you should go get drinks with your guy friends this weekend, and I'm gonna stay at home and not have to always be the person who's doing everything with you, right?
Well, you don't always have to hang out with your best friend 24/7, but the person that you date and end up marrying or whatever essentially becomes your best friend, because you spend the most time with that person. But you should still have, I think it's healthy to still have friends outside of your relationship.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But whatever floats your boat. It's that time right now for our guest. Very excited to get to know a little bit more about this guy. Everyone, please welcome Casey to the podcast. Casey, what's up? How are you?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
We are chilling. We want to get to know a little bit more about you. So where are you living, and what do you do for a living?
I live in Miami Beach, Florida, and I have been.
Yeah, I was going to stop you there
dirty.
too. Yeah,
my skin's so dry; it's about to
Get
flake
off,
and this
Casey.
man's
we
in
are
Miami.
Cold, my lips are chapped.
Casey, I'm not going to do that. We're not doing that today. Hello, Miami. How you doing, Florida? I will be there soon for Basel. I'm so excited. Yay.
It's the best week of the year, and I invite you guys all to come down. I have an extra room anytime you guys need a crash.
Oh.
You hear that, Joe?
Yeah, I do. That. Yeah, I'm going to get your number after the podcast.
We're all going to share this one room.
Is that where you're from?
I grew up about an hour north.
Okay.
Most people know like Boca Raton. I grew up in a tiny little kind of suburb outside of that. It's actually kind of famous because of a school shooting, the Parkland school massacre that happened a few years ago. Yeah, but it's actually a gorgeous, idyllic area, sans the one horrible incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a creative director for an advertising agency. So we do, branding, commercials, marketing, all sorts of fun materials. I'm predominantly a writer, but I also do film production, things like that.
Oh, good to know, because Joe got a really good idea. You really do need to call him after this, Joe.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into it right now. Casey, how did you get?
You'll hear earlier.
How did you apply, or did somebody? How did you get on the show?
Funny enough, I was on an online dating site, and my online dating site was linked to my Instagram. And if you go to my Instagram and look back like 3 or 4 posts, you can see someone writing on my wall saying, "Hey, I have an exciting opportunity for you."
Oh,
and
yeah?
That's how it all began.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a
Who
producer?
was it? It was a producer?
A casting agent. So
Let
someone
me pull
who's
this
not,
up.
yeah. I
Wow,
swear.
the Bachelor producers are on dating apps, scoping for hot men.
Wow.
Look
So
at
what?
that.
Yeah, that's actually.
Look at
I will say
that.
Taylor's gotten some DMs before about I'm a producer for a popular show, whatever, and I'm like,
I know there was
fucking
at least 2 or 3 other guys on the show who were found the same way.
On a dating app.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. We'll listen to that, listeners. If you are on dating apps, you might get contacted by a casting
right?
producer.
Yeah, I don't even have to do anything. Just look good, and they'll reach out to you. Damn.
Wow. Well, that's great.
I like the doppelganger post, Casey. That's good.
That's the number one thing I've heard from the whole show is that I am Dax Shepard and that this is some sort of giant ruse.
Did you used to get that? Did you get that before you went on the show ever?
Never. And I think that, I mean, obviously there's a similarity, but I think that the cast photo that they took, you know, I look like a certain way. I think a lot of people feel like their cast photo is not necessarily completely representative of how they look in real life. And then coincidentally, if you look at that doppelganger post, someone found like the perfect, like Dax looking in the same way with a blue shirt. And it's just crazy.
It's like the beard.
I had never gotten
smile,
it in real life.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that photo. I would say like right now, I don't think you guys really look alike, but in that photo for sure.
The soft smile.
Yeah.
I'm pretty goofy too, so you know.
That's good. We're all a little goofy on this podcast. All right,
Speak for yourself. I'm serious all the time.
No, she's not.
Okay.
That's the balance.
I could relate to you because in Paradise I was one of the older guys. One of the older guys on the beach, and you were the oldest guy in the house, right?
No.
Or like second?
Second or third.
Okay.
How old are you?
So I'm 36. So LT was 38 and Malik was also 36. But I'm trying to remember. Malik had a birthday, so I think he turned 37 or he turned 36. I can't remember.
Okay.
But Malik also just looks ridiculously young. So, you know,
was there like
I'm the only gray guy in the house, so I think that made the difference.
Did you guys was there like a big difference between the younger guys and the older guys, or was everybody just because like in Paradise everyone just seemed to be
out of their mind?
Age played no difference at all. Yeah, age was nothing. It was 100% maturity, and it was really interesting because, you know, like Brandon. When I saw Brandon, I'm like, oh my god, this kid must be 17. I thought I wouldn't relate to him. Like, nah, he's an old soul. He's so cool. He's so amazing, and you know, his youth and his demeanor. You would never expect it. And you know, Daniel was my roommate. Daniel's one of the younger guys. We're so close. We still talk like every day. I mean, it's all about maturity. You know, Spencer was like 25, but Spencer had a kid. So, you know, he came with a different set of life experiences. Just think it's how you handle yourself.
Yeah,
for sure.
I couldn't agree more with that. Okay. So there was a lot of nonsense, a lot of drama on your season.
Per usual.
Yeah. You seem to, like, did you ever get involved in it? It seemed like you stayed out of it, but.
Seemed like you flew under the radar.
I was like weirdly drama adjacent. So for instance, you know, when Jamie got called out, you know, Rick was one of the people who came to me. Rick was one of my close friends there. And so it became Rick, myself, and then Nate, you know, going directly. But it was like Nate's drama more so, but I was like always there. I was actually fighting with Chris S. probably within 2 weeks of the show. You don't really see it, but I kind of have a thing where if someone rubs me the wrong way, and I just put it out there. I'm very direct. I'm very straightforward. And it's not like I'm trying to find a fight, but like if people did something that I thought was, you know, disrespectful to Michelle or something like that, I wasn't shy to say how I felt. And I think that comes across a lot in the interviews. You know, I'm very plain spoken.
What was the beef? What was it between you and Chris S?
get that he's just got a hair trigger. And I will say, you know, I'm not only goofy, I can be a little bit of a troll, and they're long days. And so I did like kind of teasing and poking the guys. So the guys who could kind of like be self-deprecating and kind of give it back to me, right? Like we roast each other. Daniel's the perfect example because Daniel's a firefighter. So he's used to sitting in a house full of guys just busting each other's chops. Like, but guys who are kind of overly sensitive or precious about themselves, like we just didn't vibe. And he would kind of take it to places that were extreme.
I could see that. I could see that.
Well, we did have Chris on the podcast, and he said he did not have any beef with any of the guys, and he loves you all. And
he kind of tiptoed around everything, to be completely
I watched it last night. I think he's an actor, so that's my opinion.
Is he though? I mean, he lives in LA. You think he's actually?
I'll tell you the number one thing with people is just if you seem disingenuous and you seem like you're giving me like a scripted answer, we're just not going to vibe. Like I would rather you have a very different opinion than me and own it, and we can be friends and come at the world in totally different ways. Like Spencer and I have very different views on the world. Loved each other. Wanted to talk all night and hear each other's. He's the one who came in and was like, "You've got me by the balls."
Yeah, no, but I agree with that. I mean,
but when you feel like someone's telling you what you want to hear, or they want to come off like nice and perfect and political, I'm just like, oh God,
it's just fake.
Yeah. So I think but I think also to your point, it's a maturity thing, right? Because it's not, you could be young and still have this way about you, and then you can also be older and still just want to fit in, or say things to kind of make someone feel like, oh yeah, I'm with you, even though it's kind of like BS, right? So I think that's a maturity thing, and I think that's a common thread with this show. They put some really mature people together, and then they put some not so mature people together, and then you got the drama, and then it's like boom, bang, yes. So we asked one of the other guys that was on here who they thought the villain of the season was. Who do you think is or was the villain?
Like the number one?
Or just like, who was just kind of like, oh, this guy. If he wasn't here, it'd be way less drama.
There are 4 guys who I definitely had trouble with.
4?
4?
Yeah.
Name them.
Ryan, Jamie, Chris S, and Peter. Like all of them. I just had
that's
such
what
a bomb
everybody
with.
says.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, like I loved, and it was so easy, and we all talk all the time, and like, the cliche of they're like family now, but it's true.
Who else is in Miami? Isn't there somebody else in Miami?
Martin is in okay, yeah. Martin's a tricky one.
He's like 5.
Can we talk about Martin for a second?
So there's only so much we can say, but let's just say this. We were friends, and since men tell all, he's probably never going to talk to me again.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, spill the tea.
Can you share?
I got the tea ready. Go ahead.
I really don't think. I think that's going to be something you need.
So you never had issues before men tell all?
Well,
watching it back is different. Okay. We've said this a few times. Watching interviews and watching things back can change things.
There was a big turning point for me, which is what I understood of his experiences with Michelle was from what he told me.
Correct.
When I actually watched it back, I was like, oh my God, this is 180 degrees opposite of the picture you had painted for me.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, it's so explicitly opposite. And so, for instance, when I saw his exit interview in the limo, I was really taken aback.
Yeah, we all
the things
were.
he had to say. Yeah. It's very interesting as a viewer. We all saw that, but it's interesting to hear from you as someone who was there to think the same.
So it's almost like when you have a friend and you bond and you talk and you do stuff, and then you have another friend, and then that person tells you things that your friend did and said, you're like, that really? Oh my God. Like I didn't have any beef with Martin when we were on the show together. We got along great. And then I saw that stuff and I was really flabbergasted.
Interesting.
I feel triggered. Look, I feel triggered. Okay. So you would say that watching it back, you were surprised by, of course, Martin's situation. Was there anything else that surprised you from, your experience being there and then watching it back?
I mean, honestly, the Jamie situation was crazy because when it happened, I was like, this is crazy. It was like the rug was pulled out from everyone.
Wait, let's update.
Oh, I can't even remember.
Yeah, okay, let's update our listeners, Jamie.
So Jamie got the first one-on-one date. He seemed, like golden. The thing that you guys don't see is that almost everybody in the house was like in love with him, just smitten. It's like he's in a room and he was like Tony Robbins and everything was like,
oh, shit.
every bad thing in your life is something that you can turn into a positive. And that's actually when I started having issues with him, because again, I just kind of thought he was full of shit. And so I'm proud that I called him a cult leader before the revelation, just because I had seen his demeanor. Like, we had a specific experience where two of the guys did not get invited to either the group date or the one-on-one for the first week, and they were stuck at home. And the next week, he was asked, like, how would you feel if you were stuck at home this week? And he's like, I would take it as a time to reflect and grow and challenge myself. And I was like, dude, you can just say it would suck. Like, it would be suck. It would suck to stay home.
It would be awful.
For a week. Like, you don't have to always be on. You don't always have to be positive. Like, I know life, we should be positive, but it just felt like a facade to me. And I just got so exhausted by it. But everyone in the house loved him on a level I can't even tell you. So when we found out that he was snake talking to her and spreading rumors that were fundamentally not true.
He said the spring break thing, right? That Michelle acted like she was on spring break. I remember now.
Even more so than that, like, he was telling her that everybody in the house was like talking about her and Joe like it's a big problem, like we didn't trust her, like we didn't trust her character. It's like, that never happened. He also brought in the story about her dating a light-skinned baller and like spreading the notion that maybe, this is all like for show. And it poisoned the well so fast and so early. But what was really shocking to me watching it back was they showed all these private conversations that he said, which was like the spring break stuff. I was like, oh my God, it's so much worse. Like, I thought it was bad enough. I thought it was bad enough when I experienced it. And
it's like, always, that's something I'll say. It's always worse.
Was he at Mental Law?
Yes. But he was trash talking Brandon, who is like the nicest, sweetest, and most like charismatic person you ever met. Like, when I was around Brandon, I'm like, oh my God, I got to step my game up. This guy is so smooth. Like, I'm falling in love with him. And then you got Jamie going like, nobody's at my level. You Brandon. I'm like, dude, Brandon's a killer. Like,
yeah.
It was surprising that it was actually worse than I imagined.
Yeah. No, I believe it. Okay, so you go home, episode 5. Yeah. Was there any chemistry or anything between you and Michelle? Could you get into that relationship at all?
Yeah, it's funny because if you watch the show, I make it to episode 5, so I'm pretty far along, but you never actually see us interact. I think you see like one quick little blurb, but we had such a great time and we clicked really early, really fast. We talked, family, we talked career, we talked about passion. I don't know. It's funny because I talked to the other guys about like what conversations you have. And I quickly realized like, oh, we're having meaningful conversations. It wasn't that long where I felt like, oh, this is substantive. And, the worst thing is just you always want more time with her, but like we're also kissing and, being intimate and you never see that. But like it was substantive. I think once we got to the very end, I could look around and feel like, it probably wasn't progressing as much as some of the other guys towards the end. But for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I actually felt really solid with her. I felt really confident. I felt like we had something, our conversations were rich. They were actually
I wish we could have
really
seen
about
that.
family and life and career and things like that.
Justice for Casey.
Were you shocked? Were you shocked when you went home, or were you kind of like, oh, this makes sense at this point?
I fully expected it,
Yeah.
I actually did like a nice little gift for her. And it's one of those things where when I gave it to her, she was very lovely and appreciative, but I knew if we were at the point where we needed to be like relationship wise, she would have been like, oh my God, and like jumping on me. And when she did that, I was like, oh God. It was more of like you're so great. I was like, you're so great kind of thing. And I was like, no, this is a really good gift. She should be over the moon, which is not,
What did you give her?
So in an earlier conversation, we were talking about like the future and, what we're passionate about, what we want to achieve. And she was telling me about how she's getting her master's and her ultimate goal is to be a principal of a school. So I got her a legit official, like wooden, name card with like a name thing with like the golden embossed, like really nice that said Principal Young. And I said, put this on your desk so that way you can kind of like envision, like, kind of like a manifest it. Exactly.
That's so nice.
That's so thoughtful.
I hope she kept that.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I saw her at Men Tell All and she couldn't be like a lovelier person. So I hope so.
Did you watch Matt James' season? Did you like know anything about her?
Yeah, I did. It was kind of funny, it was COVID and we weren't going out. So I'm not someone who watches a lot of TV. And then with COVID, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm watching TV now. And I'm one of these people who like, I've seen seasons over the years. I've probably seen like 5 seasons over the course of 20 years. So I'm not like a noob. I actually like the show. I was always the guy who's like, oh, I can't believe he did that. She should have done that. I'm like, like, playing, armchair quarterback or whatever. So yeah, I watched Matt James season. So when this thing popped up, I'm like, this is surreal. Like it's still surreal. This conversation is surreal to me.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you because a lot of men come on this podcast and they say, oh yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't know this person. Blah, blah, blah.
Everyone. I don't think we've had a guy that has come on that has admitted to watching the show before the show.
They do it in the house too. They do it in the house and then they slip up. So they'll tell you oh, I've never seen whatever. And then they'll like let a detail slip where I'm like, you watch. You're so full of it.
Yeah, they know everybody that's been on the show. It's every time.
Yes,
I did call out Ryan for that when he was like,
we did too,
he was
honey.
on the Bachelorette live, and he's saying he couldn't, and he has time to like do all of this research, but he can't watch a single episode.
Yeah,
like, come on.
He said he works 60 hours a week, which is a long week, but that's not that crazy of work hours. And he does all this research, but he can't watch a show. Yeah.
And you're going to put yourself on national television and you're not going to take an hour. Like you've got well, maybe he doesn't have a flight. He's from California, but still, I can't.
An hour. It literally takes an hour to watch one episode to at least have an idea of what you're about to step into. Like you said, you're going on national television. Millions of people are going to watch. You're not going to do an hour of fucking research. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it doesn't make you look cool to say you don't watch.
Right. And people think it looks cool, but also it's like because of this whole wrong reasons thing. But I think that just because you watch the show doesn't mean that you're not actually genuinely going on for love. But it also diminishes the people because some people actually don't watch it. And I know that as a person of color, there's a lot of people in my life who did not watch the show before I was on it, and even myself. But I did watch the limo thing. My friends were like, you have to watch the limo. You have to do this. You have to do that. So I did watch that 1 hour. And then when Paradise came around, I said, I got to watch it all. I'm not doing this again.
Right. I remember when you were watching it all.
Yeah. I was texting Joe like, Joe, oh my God.
I'll be honest. When I came on, because some of the guys were more researched, I realized like I don't remember what grade she teaches and like a couple little things like that, and I started like panicking a little bit and like tried to grab a producer and be like, okay, so she's got one brother and one sister, because I didn't want to seem underprepared either, but the truth is like the whole couple weeks leading up to it, I was so busy with like work trying to get a replacement for me, getting some clothes, like I had another traumatic thing happen that just took up all my time. And like when I got there, I was actually, it's funny because I'm like, I look at Ryan, I'm like, I should have done more research. But in a way, it was nice to just go there and be myself.
We also want to genuinely get to know the person too, and not like know every little detail. You want to
it's like meeting somebody on
conversations.
It's like meeting somebody on a dating app and then you get there and they know everything about you.
Yeah, so how's your aunt in Ohio?
Well, that was the thing. Even on Peter's season, I didn't watch Hannah Brown season. And so I didn't know anything specifically about him. And I remember one time one of the girls in the house was like, yeah, I mean, he's a windmill guy. He loves making out. That's why I make out with him the whole time we're together. And I'm like,
oh, honey.
I said, oh, I did not know that. So, like I literally had no idea. But it made our conversations more meaningful. And I wasn't trying to put on this facade of what I think he likes, if that makes sense. So I think it's great that you went in with what you had, and wasn't so researched. I think that's the way to go. We all think that's the way to go. Less research, people.
Yeah, for a very inorganic experience, the conversations always felt very organic, very real.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Casey. So what's next for you? Are you dating now? Are you on dating apps? Are you chilling? What's the deal?
I'm not on any dating apps. I'm not against it, but so 2 weeks after I got back, I switched agencies for advertising, and it's just been a really, really intense new job in a good way. I've been traveling a lot, but doing a lot of production, which you guys know is long hours. So, I've just been busy mostly with work. I go out to bars a bit, but we'll see.
Would you go on Paradise?
I'm open to it. I think that the number one thing is just like, I would love to meet someone special. That's my number one priority. And so I would never put my life, and specifically my love life, on pause for the TV show.
Right.
So that's the bottom line. I'm a little older, as you guys mentioned, so I really am ready for like wife and kids and the whole thing. This was like a fun, crazy adventure, but I'm not the type of person to try to like, I mean, I don't know. I maybe if I was like 29 or 30, I'd be like more kind of into
it worked for Joe.
I want to do this, and I want to do this. Yeah, I mean, Joe, you've done amazing. I don't know. Maybe I'm being weird.
No,
weird.
you're not.
No, you're good.
If you're single, obviously you're not going to break up with anyone to be on Paradise. But if you're single, if you're in the right place for it, it could be.
If the opportunity presents itself and you're available, you'll go. And if you're not,
in a weird way, the number one thing of like why I would love to go is just to hang out with like my friends again. It was so fun at Men Tell All just to see everybody.
Don't do that. Those guys always get in trouble in Paradise when they're there just to hang out with their friends.
But
I would
great and level-headed, and they need that.
I would submit myself 100% to being vulnerable, which is what I did, for Bachelorette, and I wouldn't go in there, without a clear head.
Yeah.
I feel like there's, we like to ask people this, what they learned, because it's such a learning process by making yourself so vulnerable and putting yourself in this environment. What did you learn that you maybe didn't know about yourself after the show?
I learned I'm a pretty calm. I tend to be like the eye of the storm. I'm very, very calming presence. My nerves were out of control. Like when I got out of the limo, I felt like I was going to have a panic attack.
Yeah, and everybody
that's normal.
And then on the flip side of that, like pushing myself to be more outgoing, to kind of like try to grab attention, because I'm pretty low key. And so, there are benefits to sort of like making sure you really stand out. And I don't know, it was such a different environment for me. I have 3 sisters, so I tend to gravitate to those situations, and I was never like the guy with frat or a lot of guys. So it was a really big learning experience for me. And all my best friends are actually women too. Not that I don't have male friends, but it's like I'm not usually the guy who's like broing out with 5 dudes. It's usually like me and a couple like close friends. And so I really I learned a lot. I never went to camp. Almost all of this stuff was so new for me. So every day was a learning experience.
Yeah,
that's great. And we know that Men Tell All. We know that Men Tell All is next week. If you can describe the Men Tell All in one word or one phrase, what would it be, Casey?
Audacious.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
People did not hold back, myself included.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
give us something
that's
to watch.
good.
All right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. I can promise you that.
Before we let you leave, would you like to play a little game with us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Okay. So this game, we're gonna have you spill a little tea, and we're gonna ask you I'll ask you some questions, and you tell me which guy in the house fits this title the most or the best. Okay.
Let's
the party boy.
Nate.
Oh, that's so surprising to me.
By the way, we did this with Brandon as well, and we're trying to see if these match up, and that one definitely did.
Yep. I mean, I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
No.
You know, the thing is, like, when you're in a room with Nate, it's a party. Like, he's always singing. He used to sing every day. He just always he's got such a charisma to him. I've never been out partying with him, but I feel like he would be someone who would be like right by your side, just
that's fun. I like that answer then.
Right, and Brandon said the same thing. Not like actual like party boy, like out all night. Just meaning he's just so fun. He's so fun. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, he's life of the party type of guy.
Yes, got
Whereas,
it.
like, I'm in the corner looking for food.
Yeah, can relate to
that. Okay, class clown.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Rodney. I don't like the word clown with him because, like, he's so much more than that. But
totally.
I mean, oh my God, he's got everybody in stitches, like, all the time.
He's so funny.
He's the best. He's the best.
The best dancer.
Clay's kind of got some moves.
Wait, Brandon said that too.
Yeah, he said, and he said class clown. So far it's been all three. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, Brandon's a really wise guy. Very, very smart guy.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to keep going.
The dancer, that's shocking. That's shocking.
Clayton again. Wow.
I guess Clayton's one of the only people who I saw dance. Let's say that too, because I'm trying to remember any scenario in which I saw people dance, and I did see Clay dance. I was like, all right, white boy's got some moves.
Oh gosh, I can't wait till The Bachelor and we see him dance. I hope they're making him dance every episode. Okay, best friend from the season.
Can I say 3?
Yeah.
So like, you know that your roommate is like a really special relationship. So my first roommate was Daniel, like love him beyond words. Then it was Chris G, who was like an angel. He should be the spokesman for Canada because he's the nicest human being you've ever met in your life. But it's like funny because everyone who got close to me got eliminated, so I had to have a new best friend. So then in the end, it was like Olu, and then now Rick. I've seen Rick a lot since the show ended, and I don't know.
Does he live in?
We love Rick too.
Rick lives.
He's in LA, but I've been going out to California for work. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. So you see him there. Okay, great. What about best dressed?
Oh, it's either Will or Olu. I guess taste is subjective. But those guys were always just like
Olu can pull he can pull stuff off
that other people can't.
They were taking it to level 11, for sure.
Will looks he was pretty suave too. I remember that. All right, the politician.
Oh my God, it has to be Romeo.
Really?
Romeo talks like Obama, and he's always. You didn't get to see him talk enough, but I actually pulled him aside at one point, and I was like, "Dude, you're being too like political. You're always giving the answer you're supposed to give. Just be yourself." Like he's such a naturally funny and smart guy, and I think he kind of was like a little bit in his own head, which is really it makes sense. You're like on TV, it's very nerve-wracking, but I kind of was like, I grabbed him and was like, dude, you just need to be yourself, because I could feel like he's being political.
Okay.
He's a great guy too. Actually, he's one of my best friends too.
The whole house besides like 3 people, right?
Yeah, I was really lucky. People were not, they were cool with me being a completely crazy person with just such a deranged sense of humor.
Good. Okay. I see why they didn't show you on ABC that much.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true though. It's true. I left there thinking like, can they actually use any of the stuff I said? The first thing I said to Michelle when we sat together was like, so if you ever come to my home, my family is wildly inappropriate. It's like the first thing.
Yeah.
But in a playful way. Not in like a.
Okay, so we have a few more here. The best basketball player.
It's Joe, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. Best singer.
Like we all sang all the time. I don't want to say Nate because he sang every day, and I don't want to give him that win. It's Nate. I'm gonna give it to him.
Okay, who was the least funny? Who just was like, no, dude, it's corny. It's not funny.
It's a tie between Peter and Chris S. Like the level of cringe was beyond. So
I can see that.
Peter came in with catchphrases, He walked
like
into
dad
every
jokes?
room. No, every time he walked into a room, he'd scream at the top of his lungs, "Buongiorno!" And he was
fuck
like,
off. What?
He had pre-written catchphrases, thinking he was going to be like some sort of sensation. And I mean, like my blood was boiling. And then Chris S. had these like one-liners that you knew he spent like the last 2 hours of every night like writing in his notebook, waiting to drop. And
the secondhand embarrassment. Oh god!
It was just so forced. It would just drive me insane.
Oh, we love the honesty. Okay, last one. Least excited to see at the Men Tell All. Who were you the least excited to see?
Probably Martin, because I was about to blow him up.
Just disappointed. Not mad, just disappointed.
Yeah. And you know what? I hope he I mean, I don't know, but I did see his post about like growing and trying to grow and stuff like that. I hope he does. It's just a learning experience, you know. You gotta be better.
Yeah. Well, I think
Casey's like, he didn't.
No, I think. Listen, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I'm as imperfect as everybody else, and so you know.
Sure.
But at Men Tell All, you got to cast a few stones, even in a glass house. So
I can't wait, man. You got me hyped.
I know. Ooh, we're ready. Oh, thank you so much, Casey. Can you tell everyone where to find you?
Yep.
On social?
On Instagram, Casey Dilla Music. I think I'm Casey Dilla Music on everything, but Instagram's the only one that I like really use. I'll pop into Twitter every now and then just to search my name as an ego stroke.
Oh, don't do that. Oh,
people are really nice. I guess
that's good.
Listen, you got. That's gonna be.
Yeah, you got.
I'm gonna be doing it next week when Men Tell All come on. I'm gonna search your name. Like, what are they saying about Casey going off?
And it's kind of funny because before I went on, like my handle is Casey Dilla Music. I make songs for fun. It's always been like for myself for a long time. Last year I put out a couple like goofy videos. If you can check out my quarantine video, I think you'll have a really good laugh.
Okay.
But
TikTok.
people are like, he's a musician, he's on here for his music career. I don't have a music career. I do it for fun. It's like a goof. It's like, you know, someone doing painting. I love it. It's my own little thing. But anyway.
So you're the best singer.
I'm okay. I'm like above average karaoke, but I can make you a really hot beat. If any of you guys want to like rap.
I feel like you and Nate need to collab.
Yeah.
Do a collaboration with Nate.
We will. You know, a lot of the guys in the house rap. So Olu raps, Spencer raps. Clay is actually a terrible rapper. I'm going to put that out there.
That doesn't
great dancer, not a good rapper. Interesting. I love that for them. Well, thank you so much for coming by and hanging with us and dropping all this tea. I love the honesty. Love it.
For sure. You might want to get more after the Men Tell All too.
No, boy.
We're pumped.
We're ready. I can't wait.
All right.
Thanks
Have
so
a good
much.
one. Thank you.
Bye, Casey.
Thanks.
Bye.
Casey's great.
Real nice guy. Yeah, we didn't get to see much of him on the season, but we'll see. It seems like we're going to see a lot of him on the Men Tell All.
Yeah. I'm excited.
These guys go at it at the Men Tell All, so that's going to be interesting.
Give us some drama, man. Michelle's kind of like tame the drama all season, so they're all like amped up for it. I'm pumped.
Let them loose.
All right. Thank you to our listeners and thank you to Casey. We are casting for the upcoming seasons of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Head to bachelornation.com/apply to nominate yourself or someone else.
Yes. And as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your burning questions. Check us out on social and like, comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Bachelor Nation on Twitter, and Bachelor Nation on Facebook and TikTok.
And share your stories with us. We want to know what clickbait you're getting into this week. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Wondery app, or wherever you guys are listening right now. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.